Campbell, great to have you on the podcast. Who are you and what did you do?
Okay, my name's Campbell Lloyd-Barnes. I'm here today and I'm working for an SDR company doing insurance broker at Smart to Cover.
Amazing, good stuff. So tell me about your journey, interesting character in terms of your personalities, pretty unmatched to some people that I've met.
Yeah.
And you came through a referral from someone else who did Entr Tech.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's your story been from maybe uni to work to what you're doing before Entr Tech?
Well, I never went to uni, which I wasn't, I was too smart for uni, to be honest,
Yeah.
I would say, or not clever enough at all.
Too smart. Let's
Which
go with
I'll
that.
say. Yeah, too smart sounds better, right?
Yeah.
I went, I started quite late in the sales industry, to be honest. I was 27 when I first started sales. I've done fundraising for charity for 3 years. Started off door to door, and then moved into the street fundraising, where obviously I met a certain person that I'm not going to mention. I think you know pretty well who they are.
Sam?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam.
you can mention
I can mention him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not only become obviously a great team leader, but he was obviously really good at what he's done, and obviously doing an SDR and doing really, really well now. One of the big SDRs out there, and he wasn't just a brilliant team leader, but he was a brilliant fundraiser as well. And I kind of think that his energy kind of helped me and kind of helped me with my confidence and grow, and seeing the way he does it and how assumptive and assertive he was really helped me, and doing it my way, and just gave me the confidence to sort of be like, yeah, if he can do it, so can I. I just need someone else. I tend to always follow the lead of someone else as opposed to take the lead myself.
Yeah.
And with Sam, that when I worked with him for about a year and a half, it was the best year and a half I ever had, because he was literally, it was me and him constantly battling out for who was the best fundraiser. And actually, to be honest, I don't think he was too happy when I joined, because he was number 2 as opposed to number 1, where he was used to being for the 5 years he was there before.
Be like Ekatike and Isak.
Yeah, he was the Ekatike, I was the Isak. I came with a bigger, better reputation.
Nice.
Don't tell him I said that. Yeah,
so I guess for those that don't know, talk to me about fundraising and door-to-door sales, because it's a little bit different fundraising door-to-door sales, but what's that journey been like? Well, a day-to-day talk, because some of the listeners won't know what fundraising is. And
yeah, door-to-door was very difficult, because you had to sort of get people, you knocked on some random person's door, had to knock on their door and get them in the 2 minutes to sort of rather than know them for 2 minutes, you have to try and catch them off guard and try and do something to sort of get them to follow your lead, as you do with any kind of sales. But to have to go and get them to sign up to a monthly donation within the 2 minutes you're there is obviously a very daunting task.
Tough.
And to have obviously the skills to be able to average 12 to 15 a week there, and to inspire so many people to do a difference, and then to obviously go and do it in the street as well, was so good. But then obviously when me and Sam worked together, we worked in the street, and I think that when we worked together, we were always battling out for who the best fundraiser was. We always wanted to, if he got 5, I wanted to get 6, vice versa. If I got 6, he'd want to get 7. But I also think we had that very good sort of healthy competition, because yes, we were great friends, on the side, but then when we came, to work, it was almost like we didn't really want to think about anything else, but keep it professional, and then we can obviously have a drink and socialise outside of work, as opposed to, in the job, there's a job to do at the same time.
Nice. And I guess resilience is such a big part of sales, especially tech sales, right? So what resilience did you build up from fundraising? There must be must be quite challenging, right? Tell us about your day to day when it's rain. So I did door-to-door sales, so I know what it's like to be raining, walking, 8 hours a day, standing on your feet, you're knackered by the end of the day. Tell me, like if you're in the trenches, what is the hardest, day you'd go through, and how that's made you into, I guess, a resilient individual that can now go to an office role and really thrive?
I think, as I say, I've always believed, and I think a lot of people believe as well, that if you can do fundraising, you can do any kind of sales, because that is the hardest school of sales, is fundraising for a charity right there. Yeah. And obviously with charity, it's more of it's the connection you build with people and the relationships you build with the actual customers or people that walk past you in the street. And you've got to really sort of get them to like you as well, because we're not asking for a huge amount. It's not like we're selling 10 grand worth of software or something. We're actually selling 10, 15 pounds a month for a charity. Yeah. So literally, the men say, "Oh, I haven't got money, but I've seen you in a Starbucks or going to buy a coffee." It's well, that could go to that go to my charity, couldn't it? Really? Yeah. But and go to help a young person as well. And that's more importantly as well. I always remind people when you're working for a homeless charity that you're going home. That's the key thing. True. So am I. So that's why we're doing it. And together we can give that young person an opportunity to go home as well. Yeah. But obviously, what you said about what was resilience? Yeah, so perseverance, persistence. I think you've got to have a very high ask rate, and you've got to sort of like walk through the no's to get a yes. So the more no's lead to a yes, and you've also got to be able to like keep a strong mindset. And obviously, I always know that the more people you ask, you're going to find 4 or 5 people who are going to say yes. And at the end of the day, the good thing about sales, whatever you do, whether it's fundraising or any kind of sales, you can't be disappointed at anyone else when you look at your paycheck, when you obviously, you can only blame yourself, because obviously sales is very much a performance-based industry.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't got what you want at the end of it, it's your own fault. And that's kind of what you can control.
There is a certain amount of numbers element to sales, right? So how many people would you be approaching a day in fundraising?
Oh, probably like 200, 300 people a day.
Wow.
But then you probably only get like a decent like 40, 50 people that stop. So in every sort of 50 people that stops and talks to you, you probably have about, 20 decent conversations, and you'd probably try and get 4 sign-ups for those conversations. Because you're obviously going to get loads and loads of objections and rejection. That's all part of the parcel, and it wouldn't be sales if you didn't get rejection, right?
For sure.
But I think with charity fundraising, what makes it so unique as opposed to any kind of sales is that it's what's inside you, it's what you put in, as opposed to like it's more your personality and getting people to like you,
build
and connect
rapport.
with you and build rapport.
Yeah.
And you want to get to know that person. Like in those 2 minutes, you want to try and make it like you've known for 20 years, as opposed to 2 minutes to like make people think, actually, I'll do it for this guy. He knows what you talk about. And obviously, like any kind of sales, the more you know about the product that you're selling,
For sure.
the more people are going to buy from you.
Yeah,
It's that simple.
you.
Because it's going to be more trust.
And how did you come across Entr Tech? What's the story there? How do we meet?
Well, that's going to come across as well. So we met through, obviously, Sam Lowell, which was a very good friend of mine from doing the fundraising that I was doing before.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see, I didn't meet him, obviously I didn't speak to you straight away. It was probably a year after he joined, but obviously, he was getting stronger and stronger and results were getting better and better.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it was very inspirational, and it was very sort of like captivating for me to obviously see what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I thought that actually it was quite inspiring, and it made me think, you know what? So I've messaged Sam 3 or 4 times before Christmas. I was like, who is this guy that helped you out, that obviously got you to where you are today? Please give him my number so I can obviously speak with you, and obviously, message you, be like, get me in touch straight away, because I wanted, the sooner I start, the better. And I think January was actually a really good time, because I know that's when he did it, of 2025, if I'm wrong, this time last year.
I think so.
So I did it this time when he did it. And as well as I do, which we'll probably go into later, it was a bit of a tough start getting through the door, through the tech sales. I mean, it was basically like, you probably thought, who the hell is, who have you got into this guy? But obviously, once I got through the first stage, like I knew that it was getting better and better, and I think that I was picking up more pieces, and I was able to sort of write more notes and listen to more podcasts, and of the people that have done through, and I just felt that it was really useful, and coaches, and I had some very good coaches along the way. Yeah,
I think definitely from a confidence standpoint, I could just tell you were growing and becoming more polished and more rounded, which is a great thing to see. And obviously, we did quite a few meetups in person to get your LinkedIn ready and things like that, and to get you dialed into interviews. So what do you think was the most important part of it?
Well, I think, do you know what? I think I had so many more disadvantages compared to what Sam had, for example. But what I had the biggest advantage was the fact that you were right next to me, as in like, in terms of where we lived, and the fact we were quite close by.
Yeah.
It made it a lot easier to meet up more frequently to get me through that initial stage.
Yeah.
Where I think that kind of then was like, okay, we can meet at Starbucks or Gales or Black Sheep Coffee or whatever.
Sure.
As opposed to, having to do it over the phone, and then you can actually see the problems I had, and you could see that I'm not actually making it up, because I know sometimes like it's so easy, especially if you're an employer and a manager or whatever, are looking to try and find this. If someone says, there's a bit of a computer problem, you'll probably see it as, he's just not working hard enough. And I was actually working harder than most people, and I wanted it more than what most people want it.
Yeah.
And then, but sometimes it doesn't always look genuine when you obviously aren't getting,
I think LinkedIn as well is a big part of it in terms of getting your LinkedIn. I say
Definitely.
to everyone, LinkedIn is the new CV. Like, I don't think, even I was hiring for a social media manager, I didn't look at people's CVs. Go straight to the LinkedIn, see, does it look reputable? Have they got a standard stuff like a good headline, bio? What have they got in terms of skills? And it's got to look relevant to the role you're applying to, and it's got to show that you're a high performing salesperson. So I think that was a big part of getting you that full package. And I think even you had confidence with that behind you, being like, actually, you've got a lot of great experience, but it's just showing you and writing that story, right?
Was it 100%? And obviously Sam was very helpful as well, because he obviously gave me some sort of like hard but fair criticism as well.
Yeah.
Like he was just like, oh, you know, there's nothing, my LinkedIn problem, my CV. But obviously when I sorted that all out, and obviously he always said, believed in me as well, because he always said that I've got a lot of accolades and believed in what I had as well. And obviously, you know, there was me, him, and another guy called Harry, who I was really good friends with as well, who obviously I loved working with Harry and obviously Sam. They're like my two brothers from another mother's kind of thing.
Yeah.
We always loved competing against each other for who was the best, and always wanted to get more sign-ups than each other and more than everyone else. And then obviously learnt so much from both of them, and still in touch and very good friends with them now as well, so which is obviously great that, you know, they're lifelong friends. But I think that going back to what you said about the CV as well, it's massively important. That's what I said to Harry as well, and I was trying to help him to like get into tech sales or other kind of things, is that you need to have a good LinkedIn, because the LinkedIn is basically like your website. So it basically, like, you can have like the best CV, or you can have the best experience and more experience than everyone else and get the best results. But if your LinkedIn is not 100%, people are going to look at the person who's actually half as good as you with more of an accurate CV, because that's how you're selling it, right?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. And what excites you most about your move into insurance sales? Obviously the earning potential we spoke about offline. Do you mind going into that in terms of like the salary bump you're going to get and what excites you most? It's pretty amazing.
Well, I won't. The good thing is about working in an office, you won't be like rained on or snowed on, and you won't be in frostbite weather like you were in the winter. I don't think I'll be in raining when I'm inside here. So you can you can have like hailstones and all that outside, but in a lovely office like this, it's really nice because you can acclimatise. So in the summer it'd be air conditioning, it'll be central heating in the winter, which was not what we used to, standing outside in the streets and getting people telling you to, you know, F off. I can't. I'm allowed to say the whole thing.
No.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go into the full words, but yeah, like, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think that also, like, it's more of an opportunity, because I felt in the charity sector there was a limit on what you can achieve, and I already achieved like the best possible results and got the best like possible outcome, and I was in like the top 1% earnings of the people that were in the company for the 3 years I was there. And I thought that was a great foundation to get me to where I'm at now. But when I was 27, I went into the charity sector only using it as like a work experience place. Yeah. But obviously it was a very good, if you're good at what you do, like Sam was, or I was, or Harry was, you can then obviously...
You end up staying there.
You end up staying there for 2-3 years, hoping that you obviously get a break. And thankfully, obviously, we met through, obviously, Sam. And obviously, I know he said in his podcast that he met you, and obviously you basically changed his life, and I'm hoping that we can say the same here in a year's time as well.
Definitely.
But I'm a sort of person that doesn't do things unless I 100% believe in what I'm doing. Yeah. So like with this one, what inspired me was I'm always very money motivated, driven by results, and I don't take second best for answer. I always want to be competing to be the very best at what I do.
Love it.
And you know, the way I've always got respect in the past is by obviously doing what I do, not by what, you know, people see or what they say of me, but obviously by seeing what I've action speaks louder than words, right?
No, I can tell that about you. I think you're very motivated to do well in this role. I remember just before we got on air, you're saying you're dialed into 7:30 starts and making sure you don't let the opportunity pass by, which is super exciting. And if it's anything like my journey from door-to-door sales to tech sales, you know, you'd thrive in an office environment, because even I thought, it's going to be a bit much being in an office environment now, because you're used to that free roaming, but you'll love it, because actually, as you say, in the winter, you actually, you know, you're in a nice environment, a comfortable environment where you can just knock it out of the park, and there's still that camaraderie or that banter with sales teams in that environment, which is great. And that work-life balance afterwards still exists. You can still go for a drink after work, or whatever you want to do, go for a run with the team.
Definitely. And I actually think that the rare thing about when I'm joining as well, I think the atmosphere is going to be so good, especially when the World Cup's on as well, and England games are on, because obviously World Cup's come up in a few days' time in America. So it's always going to be like chaotic, especially in the evenings. If England are playing and they get further through, and let's say it's a Friday night after work and they're playing, you know, it's going to be nice to be able to go down with the lads and have a few drinks and watch England play, know the fact you've had a really good week at work, and it's going to be rewarded by that. But also I think what I like as well is that when I went there, the culture seems really good as well. And I know a couple of people that are actually there already by coincidence. So I think I told you about one of Sam's friends that used to work with us in the company I was working for, the charity sector. His older brother now works there.
Nice.
So basically, like,
You've got a few people.
Yeah, I've got a few connections.
Nice.
And I think it always helps when you work in a new environment if you know 2 or 3 people.
For sure.
So sort of help you through, because they'll be able to say what I'm like, and I'll be able to like sort of bed in with them.
You've got like a separate reference, but also
100%.
I don't think you'll struggle to make friends or colleagues or camaraderie won't be hard for you, because you're a pretty unique character, and you've got a great sense of humor, and you're a big sports fan as well, which helps, I think, to meet people, talk about sports. So like, talk to me about like that, because I know you're a big cricket fan.
Yeah.
Is that how you switch off, I guess, from work?
100%. I mean, that's one thing I've always liked to do. I mean, before I did like sales, I was always playing cricket anyway, but sort of like that was more sort of a scapegoat, because I was looking for like full-time jobs. You didn't really have like sort of well-paid or, as part-time work experience kind of jobs before you found something that I wanted to do. And it was only when I was 27 that I discovered that I can actually do sales. Like, it was always something I thought, okay, this is good, because I always saw the earning potential, but I didn't really know how to get there. And I kind of saw that, like, in my sort of 20s and late teens, I sort of felt myself a bit sort of like, if I was being honest with myself and looking back at it now, I was probably a major red flag in terms of the way I behaved and the way I sort of went about things. I expected, when I was 16, 17, 18, I wanted everything here and now.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really think that to work for anything.
Long-term vision.
And you sort of walked out thinking, I could just walk out and get this for fun. And, it was a big wake-up call, because it didn't work out like that.
Yeah. And I guess sales is pretty humbling like that. It gives you purpose. What you put in, you get out, and it does make people. I think a lot of people have that similar path where they've started from square one, and it's really allowed them to build up their bank of either confidence or really gives people a little bit more of a direction and a compass.
Definitely, and I think also with sales, it's something that can, like, there's no sort of grey area. Either makes you or it breaks you, because there's a lot of rejection involved in it as well. But I think what's helped me is that, like, it's given me the confidence to sort of go out there and, like, take my game to another level and bring out my best in myself. Because I think that it's a very competitive environment. You've always got to have that sort of mindset of wanting to be the best and sort of challenge and improve yourself as well. Is something that I think that, like, for example, I had one day where I got 10 in a day last week, which was one of my last days of working here. And our cut-off time is 7:30, and we can't fundraise after 7:30. And hopefully my boss won't listen to this, or the CEO of my company, but I stayed up till 8:30. And I sort of lied. I said, I went home half an hour ago, forgot to post 10th sign up. I didn't. I got my 10th sign up at 8:30. And I thought, well, you know what? Not that I ever champion anyone to do what I did. However, if there's ever one thing I'd like someone to do, is do that, because it means they want it more. It's called challenging, improving yourself. Yeah. You want to better your own game. And if you're going to stay out an hour later just to get that satisfaction and prove that what you can do and the results are there,
respect.
Then it's like, at the end of the day, people even the bosses are like, well, hang on a minute. It's not actually that bad. You've actually gone out today and do one more. I don't mind that kind of stuff.
I think legally they say you have to stop, but they'll probably be like, wow, that's exactly what we want to hire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the sort of person you want to look for. That's the only time I want people to do something they shouldn't do, is when they're actually doing something like that.
Love it. And just to wrap, like, what advice would you give someone thinking about Entr Tech or getting into sales? Like, what is your main takeaways?
Well, I think Entr Tech was incredibly good for me and incredibly beneficial, because obviously that's where we met, and obviously, I had a really good mentor in Naomi, and obviously Michelle was really helpful as well.
Yeah, everyone says that. Michelle always gets a
She was really, really good for me, because she gave me the confidence that I didn't think I had, and she was very patient with, my slow progression, and I was 2 weeks behind, which I can say now, which obviously falling 2 weeks behind, I think, to then come back and obviously be able to catch up in the way I did. Yeah, I was like
3-0 down.
Yeah, and to come back and do what I've done now, I'm pretty proud of myself. Yeah. And I think now I can look at my life and say that, I didn't really know where I was going to be when I was 20, 21 years old, but now the last 3 years having done sales and charity fundraising, it's given me that extra level of confidence to go out and achieve the highest of heights, and go out and do the best possible jobs that are out there that people wouldn't have thought before. Yeah. And I think that it's helped me to prove a lot of people who doubted me in the past, because of what I did in my when I was 18, 19 years old, where I sort of was a little bit like, I was always ambitious, but I didn't quite know how to find the right pathway to get there. And I just kind of wanted everything here and now, as opposed to really thinking about having to work for it. Yeah. And it's only in the last 2-3 years I've put that real hard work ethic into it, and I've, put the graph in to get the direction. Reap the rewards. Yeah.
Good man. Thanks so much for coming on. Where's the best place for people to find you? Is it LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, or try my Instagram as well.
Cool. and should we link them down below? We'll put them down below in the comments. So after this, send them over.
Yeah.
Campbell, it's been a pleasure. Can't wait to see what you achieve.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care. Thank you very much.